Hello, Year 2. Hope you've had a great day. Are you ready to find out what's going to happen in the next instalment of The Boy Who Grew Dragons by Andy Shepherd? Now, do you remember how yesterday the children had gone back to the dragon fruit tree and were watching and waiting for the new fruits to start to hatch? Chapter 24. Here Be Dragons. It's a bit of a strange title, that. Here Be Dragons is something you used to see on old pirate maps when people thought dragons really existed. So that's why the author's chosen that phrase. But as you already know, some of us aren't very good at waiting. Maybe we should pick them like apples, Ted suggested, prodding a low-hanging fruit. Perhaps the dragons only hatch when they come off the tree. They have to fall off, Kat said. You can't pull them off before they're ready. Why not? Ted asked. They look ripe. Thomas, tell him, Kat urged. OK, what did you do, Thomas? Ted asked. Flicker's fruit just came off in my hand, I said, remembering how I'd held it and gently lifted it aside out of the way of the others. Kat was frowning at me, while Ted gave me a knowing look. They obviously didn't believe me when I said it had just dropped off. I was sure I hadn't pulled it off, though. At least, I hope I hadn't. I looked at Flicker, who was still almost as tiny as the day I found him, and suddenly wondered if he had hatched too soon. What if he wasn't growing properly because of me? Maybe this wasn't such a good idea. Kat cupped her hands gently around one of the fruit. This one feels too hard to be ripe. I think we should leave them, she said, until they're ready. We can come back tomorrow. And hope they don't drop off and hatch and fly away in the meantime, you mean, said Kai crossly. If that's what it means, yes, Kat said sternly. I could tell the twins were about to lock horns. I kept my eye on the dragon fruit in Kat's hands. Wait, Kat, look, it's glowing, I said. And not only that, the fruit was no longer attached to the tree. I didn't pull it off, Kat cried immediately. But before any of us could reply, the fruit started to bulge. A minute later, there was a loud pop. The thing exploded. We stood, open-mouthed, splattered by a spray of fruity pulp. And there, on the ground, was a tiny purple dragon, covered in sticky, seedy goo. Kai let out an excited squeak as the dragon stretched its neck and raised its long, elegant head, sniffing the air. When it opened its wings, we could see shades of purple lightning into a beautiful electric blue. The pattern swirled like the tie-dye t-shirts we had made in art. This dragon had fewer spines than Flicker, but under its jaws were spikes. I don't know if you can see the picture there. The spikes were hanging down like icicles. Quick as a flash, Kat gathered it up in her hands, delighted. As she scraped the sticky pulp off her dragon's wings, Ted and Kai started reaching out to the other fruits left on the tree, feeling each one in turn. Careful, I cried. Just be careful. At first, nothing happened. None of the fruits did anything. But then one of the ones Kai was holding flickered and began to glow. Kai's hand sagged as the weight of it fell into his palm. And then, pop, another dragon shot out. This one was a vivid greeny blue with scales that glistened like the sea on a really hot day. Look at its wings, Kat whispered. They look like peacock feathers. And she was right. Although not actually feathers, the detail on the wings formed a feather design, and there were shapes like yellow and blue eyes leading to the outer edge, just like on a peacock. Ted's eyes stayed fixed on the tree, as if he was looking for the one perfect fruit. He reached up to squeeze a few of the redder ones. Ow, he yelled, drawing his hand out fast. Rotten tree bit me. I laughed. It's got some fierce thorns on it. He sucked at the scratch, but since he'd had a mouthful of marshmallows, his hand came away covered in pink stickiness. Undeterred, he thrust his hand back in. It brushed one of the fruits, and he stifled a yell of excitement as the fruit suddenly shone, as if his touch had turned it to gold. Carefully he cradled it in his hand, holding his breath, and then, just like the others, almost as if it had chosen his hand to fall into. The fruit let go of the tree. Immediately it started to swell up, the red skin stretching under the pressure of the creature wriggling inside, fighting its way out. And then it burst, sending a spray of pulp all over Ted. But he didn't look as if he minded one bit, as he held up a slender yellow dragon. The shine from its golden scales made his hand glow brightly. He stared at it, his mouth hanging open. Not to get all poetic or anything, but if you'd been able to hold a bit of the sun, that's what I imagined it to be like. Only without the hand-melting heat, of course. Standing there, holding our dragons, we looked at each other with stupid grins plastered over our faces. I have to admit, we thought it was going to be pretty cool to all have dragons as pets. Well, let's see whether it does turn out to be pretty cool. Take care for now, children. See you again tomorrow. Bye.